Same lineup, Krejci's in, Tuukka's in. Get that out of the way.
Is it difficult to set a guy like that just from his experience?
Yep, Wagner's well, guys that played well for us this year. We just feel the lineup that we dressed the other night. We played our best game. I thought game 2 was excellent for us. A response game more than an overall. I think it was definitely a really good game for us, but it was as much a response of game 1. I thought game 6 was our identity, our type of game in terms of pace, physicality, finishing, all aspects of the game, special teams. So that's probably the biggest thing that goes into the decision of some of the guys going in and out.
Riley's really heated up the last couple of games. You want to stay within your structure, but are you also kind of wary about him taking as many shots as he is from the ball?
He was real active up top. Generally, they have got a large percentage of their shots from their defensemen. They do funnel a lot of pucks. I thought he was more active than normal, creating awareness issues, D-zone coverage switches low. Some of them we handled well, some of them we didn't. We addressed it this morning in a little bit of our review from Game 6. I suspect he'll be active again. So we've got to have better sticks, keep him to the outside, and then close off the plays when he is down low, because they also have issues with, now if he's caught and we create a turnover, what happens there? So we've got to make sure that we transition well if we do create a turnover when he's caught low, and it can attack forward, similar to DeBrusk's goal. We got to attack a forward, we took advantage of it and scored.
How worried are you against the young players who haven't been there trying to do too much?
Again, I think the players in the room will have a much bigger voice in terms of what your demeanor needs to be. As coaches, we've tried to prepare them for situational things that are going to happen on the ice. What they did well in Game 6 that we could try to correct, and what we did well that we want to keep building on. Once they get on the ice, I believe the leadership group will have our guys in a good place. So I don't want to over-message other than, listen, you got to enjoy the moment, and you got to play, and you're going to make a mistake, and you got to put it behind you, and you got to keep playing, and you have to have more will than the guy across from you. Pretty much is the message we give them. We've had some young guys that had a little experience with it. Obviously, Kuhlman, no, but he's played in big games. Brandon Carlo, first playoff, I think he's handled well, but he hasn't seen a Game 7, so we'll have to keep an eye on that.
Bruce, there's been some talk about the condition of the ice at the Garden that might not be in the best shape. Do you think that's overblown, or is that like a real concern?
Well, it's the same for both teams, right? So that's an equalizer. I suspect it'll be better. I think some of it had to do with we're managing Celtics games with, so I assume, listen, I know what an agronomist is to do with a golf term and grass, but I don't know what a term for ice is. But I don't know how much that affects it. The weather outside, I assume, affects. I know there's some construction, there's all those things. I guess the short answer, which is too late now, is I assume our crew will do their best they can to get it up to speed, given they've got a little better circumstances to work with. Seeing the Celtics have clinched, and we haven't been flipping the floor back and forth. So we'll see.
What's Corrali done for you guys, not just this season, but maybe last game? And what does he do for you when he's really going on?
Puck possession guy. I think you saw it more the other day. He was able to carry it between the Blues. He doesn't need to distribute it through the Blues, which is always the easiest way to get into their end. If you don't have to make plays, you got good speed. And that's one of his strengths. And he possesses it down low, and he can work to get back. He can recapture his ice well. I think he closes well in D-zone, so he can play against players that want to create time and space for themselves. Toronto has a number of those guys are good at it, so he's able to minimize some of that when he's on. I think he's been good in face-offs for the most part. With his injury, missing time, we don't want to rely too much on that, but I still think that in season he's been good at penalty kill. And he can match up against good players because he's 6'2", and he's, 210 pounds, so you have to work to get through him. I think all those things have made him a good, serviceable guy that can play against good players. If we can get some offense from him, great. He's provided a little bit of that for us in the playoffs in the past. I think he had some good looks the other night off the wing. I thought it was really good game. It was a big reason why we won. He did his job. I think the first game he played here, he was finding his way a little bit, missed time, and is much better in Game 6.
Is Noel becoming more like a left now? Is that like a left shot?
Do you only ask about the Rhode Island guys, Mike?
What's that?
You're always the only Rhode Island local guys, right?
I'm actually not Rhode Island.
Oh, really? I thought you were.
Just rep stuff.
All right. I'm just teasing.
But no, I mean, kind of bumped up to him now. Is that a play thing or is it a left-right? You know, shot?
I think it's more about Corrali and him can alternate who takes the draws on each side. So Corrali will actually play the wing if the face-off's on the strong side. I think Noel, some of what we talked about earlier, the Wagner Bacchus, is Noel we've got graded out as the best penalty killer we feel of the three. So that's another reason we bumped him to the wing. He can take draws. He's physical like Bacchus and Wagner. He just has a bit of an advantage of the penalty kill part of it. And other than that, it's a tough call with the, because they're similar in their games. They're physical. They're good on the walls. Wagner's killed more than Bacchus, more a power play guy. So I think that's the why he's ahead of them and then got pushed to the wing because Corrali can play in the middle. So that's the biggest reason. I guess to go back to your question before I was kind of rude to you, Mike, I'm sorry.
So two more, is the ask, with Miller out of the lineup, is the ask for any of the six guys been different in the physical department?
No, you don't want someone to be something they're not. We want guys to be hard, but Kevin Miller plays his style of game, and John Moore has to play his, and Grizz has to play his. Those are the guys I assume that you're referring to. Grizz is not going to be able to replace Miller. Foot speed, I thought he was great the other night. His escape moves much better in the breakout. Johnny Moore, I could be the closest because he's bigger, but he's not angry by nature like Kevin. But we need him to be hard in his own way.